Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm so grateful to all of you who are tuning in, to my YouTube friends and to my podcast listeners. Okay, guys, this is going to be a quick and very practical episode as we're nearing the holidays. Most, if not all of us, will be doing some sort of cooking in the kitchen. And I have a few tips that I just want to share that will help you not have to clean up. It'll lessen the stress of cleanup. I'm all about these little hacks, and I use every one of these, and it involves a few disposable things, and then a few things that you can reuse a few times. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. And all of these are super inexpensive items, and they will probably cut the time and the effort of your holiday cooking cleanup at least 1/4, if not 1/2. Okay, I want to start by something that I don't use this year round necessarily, but during the holidays, I love having this on hand. Let me put my readers on, guys. I've gotten where I can't see even the larger print without my readers. Okay. Disposable cutting boards. I did not know these existed until, and I do not even remember her name. It was years ago. It was a blogger that I was reading something on her site, and she referred to how wonderful these were, went to Amazon, bought them, and they're wonderful. Disposable cutting boards. Okay, YouTube friends, I'm going to show you what they look like. I'm just going to pull it out. Guys, it's like, okay, see here? You just pull it out. It's on a roll, just like aluminum foil would be. You can see through it, but it's thick. You can't tear it. You would have to cut it. You just pull off the amount you need, and then there's this little slider that you just cut it, whatever length you need. I love this, and let me tell you why. During the holidays, I'm cutting a lot of different produce. I might have some chicken that I've got that I'm prepping for something. Maybe I'm breading it in panko or doing something there. I have need for multiple cutting boards where I won't cross-contaminate, and you're probably the same. I do not want to get 3 or 4 actual cutting boards out, because that means washing, drying, and putting away 3 or 4 cutting boards. Now, in the course of a normal week or season, we're not probably going to be using that many cutting boards, but during the holidays, that is very common. So this disposable cutting board comes in so handy. You just pull off or cut off 4 lengths, however long you need them. And one other great thing about this, if you've got a lot of produce that you're cutting for a salad, you can do a longer piece. If you've just got 2 chicken breasts that you're slicing or you're doing something with, you can just cut off a shorter piece. This is a huge helper, wonderful investment, and I absolutely recommend it. I'm going to link to everything that I'm mentioning. So if you're driving or you're doing something else, you don't have to write any of this down. Okay, now guys, y'all probably already use these. And you can get these at Publix or any place. These Reynolds slow cooker liners are wonderful if you're using your slow cooker. Now, this is for the 3 to 8 quart traditional slow cooker that is sort of oval on top and deep. It's not for the casserole crock. It's for the traditional shape. I love this because during the holidays, I will make usually a batch of chili or spaghetti or some sort of soup. I often make my baked ziti before the holidays. And this is wonderful because those things, the tomato-based sauces or soups or stews, they can make a very difficult cleanup situation in a slow cooker. if you line your slow cooker with one of these, it's not only easier to clean. Now you're still going to want to clean. You just want to give it a quick rinse or a quick wash, but you're not going to have to scrub and scrape like you would if you did not use the liner. Another reason I like these any time of year is you can lift the food out instead of pouring it. You can lift it out. Now you want to let it cool. You don't want to lift piping hot anything, but when it's cooled off a bit, you gently and carefully lift it up and you can transfer it to a big like container. I have a big Rubbermaid, like a big square that I always put my soups and stews and sauces in to put in the fridge, but this makes the transfer easier. And then all you do, or all I do after I've used my slow cooker liner, is I'll just put a drop of Dawn or whatever dishwasher detergent, just give it a quick wash and rinse it really well, dry it, and it's good to go. No scrubbing, no big mess. Okay, so love that. Okay, and guys, this is just a basic, but I always make sure I've got a lot of it at Christmas. You know, a lot of us, or most of you probably keep parchment paper, but during the holidays, you cannot get enough. So this is the Costco size. This is Kirkland. You can use this for everything. You could technically use this for not a cutting board, but maybe to like tear pieces out, put them around your kitchen, maybe to cool cookies on, or to use it for something that you would normally put maybe on a plate or something that you would have to wash later. So I love having parchment. And also, if you've got this parchment when you're baking those Christmas cookies, or you're turning out tablespoonfuls of Christmas candy. I do a white chocolate peanut butter candy that you drop on top of, I do the parchment. It makes cleanup easy because you're not messing up dishes. You're not messing up your baking sheet. You're just using the parchment. So there are myriad reasons to keep the parchment around. It is wonderful to have. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to mention this because this is probably, no, y'all, I've grabbed the wrong thing. This is freezer paper. I thought this was heavy duty aluminum foil. Now, I will, since I accidentally got freezer paper, this is handy to have if you plan to freeze like large cuts of meat. I'm not typically freezing large cuts of meat at the holidays, so we're not going to talk about that now. I'm going to pretend like this is aluminum foil, but I want to specify the type of aluminum foil that I use always. I only use one type of foil, but especially during the holidays, heavy duty and the long, not the short one, not the regular aluminum foil that's just, you know, the shorter one and it doesn't say heavy duty. That tears. It won't cover a baking sheet. You always want to just, and it's going to cost a little bit more, but if you go to Costco, you'll get 3 of them, but I use them so often that, you know, it makes sense for me to get mine at Costco. But heavy duty aluminum foil, and you want to get the longest size you can find. You pull it off and the width is enough to cover almost any cookie sheet or baking sheet. And if you're roasting vegetables or you're doing anything that would make a mess on a baking sheet, put that aluminum foil down first, and then you can roast your veggies. And then once you turn those out, you can remove the foil, and you're still going to want to rinse your baking sheet, but you're not going to have to scrub it. When you roast vegetables, you know, they release some of them will caramelize. You might get burned areas. And it would just be a lot of cleanup. And during the holidays, we don't really want a lot of cleanup. We just want things to be simpler. So I always keep a heavy duty aluminum foil on hand. And also you can use it to transport food, maybe to a family or friends holiday dinner. You can tightly cover casseroles. It just really keeps things warm, and you can tighten it, can do several layers, and it's almost just like having a lid. It's just so versatile. has so many uses. Also, aluminum foil is very, very good if you're baking, let's say you're baking a lasagna or a baked ziti, and I have a recipe for baked ziti that is super, super yummy, and I get great feedback on it, and people like to make it during the holidays because it makes a lot, it freezes beautifully, it reheats well, and leftovers are delicious. So now, that being said, making that baked ziti or any kind of large casserole, having aluminum foil on hand is so helpful, because you might see that cooking uncovered is not best, especially if you've got a double portion. So cover that dish with lightly with aluminum foil the first 30 minutes to let the food get heated all the way through. Then take that foil off, and the last 30 minutes, let it finish cooking, and then let it get the brown exterior or the golden exterior or the bubbly exterior, and then you're good. So aluminum foil is a must. If I did not have aluminum foil any time of the year, but especially during the holiday, I think I would have a panic attack because it's that important. Okay, another thing that I'm going to share with you, and where did it go? Oh, okay. You can get this, I think, at most Publix. I have seen this not be at some of my local Birmingham Publix, but be at some others. So I think it may be a store-specific thing. But I cannot tell you how handy it is. I always try to keep one box of these. It is the Ziploc freezer bag, but it is the 2-gallon. Guys, there are some things that you want a freezer bag for that will not fit into a gallon freezer bag. And I'm going to tell you holiday-wise what I use these 2-gallon bags for. And this is going to be a tip that will help you have something already in your freezer that you can pull out for your holiday meal. Costco, if you're a Costco member, now Sam's might have something similar. I don't know. I'm not a Sam's member. They have my favorite bread in the whole world, and it's their rosemary Parmesan. I get it's 2 round loaves. Now, if I had to, I could do usually each of those will fit into one 1-gallon Ziploc freezer bag. I have had instances where they were shaped a little bit ovally and they were too big for me to seal them in a 1-gallon. So what I do now for my Costco bread, I get these 2-gallon freezer Ziplocs, and I put both loaves in a 2-gallon. Now, if for some reason I cannot imagine, I've never had a problem getting 2 of the Costco loaves in a 2-gallon Ziploc. But if you do, you can just put one in each 2-gallon. And you can also, in these 2-gallon bags, freezer bags, you can put a baking dish that it has maybe a breakfast casserole or a lasagna, anything in an 11 by 13, 9 by 11, those baking dishes that you want to freeze, they will all fit in a 2-gallon. So this is super, super handy. Okay. And okay, I'm going to share with you all something that I never knew I needed as much until I had it. Simple brining bucket. This is an 8-quart. And as you can see, if you're my YouTube viewer, it's very slim and tall. So it's deep. It looks like it's about 10 inches wide, maybe 10 inches tall. This is a Rubbermaid. And it has the measurements, 8-quart, 6-quart, 4-quart, 2-quart. You can obviously use this for what it's intended, brining a holiday bird, such as a turkey, or you can brine, you don't just brine turkey, you can brine a chicken. There's so many things you can brine, but what I use this for is anything that I need to stir that might make a mess, or that might pop out, not pop out of, that if I'm stirring that it might come out of a smaller bowl. One thing that I use this for is my coffee punch. And I do make that during the holidays or before a baby shower, wedding shower. It is a hit. It's a Southern thing. I don't know. A lot of people have never heard of coffee punch. I grew up in the South. I'm 57, and every baby shower or wedding shower, almost someone made coffee punch. And y'all, it's so good that I make coffee punch and I keep it in my fridge. So I mix it in this because you're taking coffee concentrate, you're taking milk, you're taking ice cream, and you're stirring all that together. And I like to stir it really, really well. And it's sort of slopping around, and I don't want to do that in a small bowl. So I use this to mix my punch up. And then you can see that you can pour it out of the edge. It's sort of like a spout into my glass container that I store it in the fridge in. It's like a 2-quart glass container. I just like having a brine bucket to mix things in that are, you know, larger quantities. So that might be something that you find helpful. Okay. And then last but not least, guys, and if you follow me at all on Instagram, this will not surprise you. These gloves. Now, these gloves, you can get these, I think, at Publix, not this brand, but these are Noble, powder-free latex gloves, and they're disposable. I probably go through 3 to 4 pairs a day prepping for the holidays because I'm handling meat, or I may be cutting a lot of produce and washing my hands a lot in between. If I wear these, I don't have to. Now, if I'm dealing with meat, I'm going to wash my hands. But just going from maybe cutting some cucumber to cutting some tomato, getting all of that liquid on your hands, if you will wear gloves, you can cut all those things and get through cutting all of your produce and wash your hands once, rather than having to wash off of your hands the juice of the different veggies. I hope that makes sense. I know what I'm trying to say, guys. Gloves, you don't notice that you have maybe the juice of a tomato on your glove. So you can just keep chopping because the juice of a tomato is not going to hurt the cucumber. You can just do all the chopping. If I'm chopping all different kinds of produce with my bare hands, then I personally have this thing. I feel like I have to wash in between, and that makes my hands dry. So therefore, I wear these gloves for that. I'm usually cooking a lot more meat during the holiday. Anytime I handle meat, I wear these gloves. Anytime I season meat, I rub it in. Like if I'm putting a dry rub on something, I'll sprinkle the dry rub and I will rub it into the meat with a glove. And anytime I touch meat with a glove and touch anything else, I take the glove off and throw it away. So during the holidays, when you're doing a lot of cooking of a lot of different things, just have a big box of these gloves and use as many as you need to cut down on how many times you have to wash your hands. So those are my little hacks that I use. Oh, guys, I just want to share this one thing. This is going to be a little bonus. This does not save you with cooking cleanup, but I just spotted this and I want to jump on and share it. And I'm going to link to all this in my show notes. This was up here. I think I did this in my gift guide favorite things. I could not live without this during the holidays. This is a lamp berger. Cooking for friends, family, guests. You never want the smell of anything you've just cooked, whether it's bacon or you just want it to, now cooked food that smells wonderful, but odors of maybe roasted Brussels sprouts or microwaved bacon, those things can really be a letdown when guests walk in if they smell that. A lamp berger doesn't mask odors like a candle would. Lamp berger removes odor from the air, and it also sanitizes the air. There's a history behind this. It was invented by, I think, a French doctor to remove bacteria from the air, but this is fabulous. And during the holidays, I always make sure that mine is full, that it's ready to light, You want to light it about an hour before people come and let it get all of the odor out of the air. Then you can rest assured that people will only smell your Christmas tree or your Fraser fir candle, not your cooked food. So anyway, just toss that in, and I hope that all these things were helpful. I'll link to them in the show notes, and always let me know if there's any specific topic you would like for me to address, especially as we're nearing 2023. I so want to give content that you want to hear. So email me, Jamie@familysavvy.com, and say, hey, Jamie, why don't you talk about this? I would love to do that. So anyway, friends, thank you for joining today. I hope this was helpful. And until next time, you have a fabulous rest of your day.